COC 3. Setup Computer Server. Brought to you by Group 3. First, we'll be going to the control panel, or just right-click on the Ethernet logo below and find the Network and Sharing Center to be able to navigate to the Change Adapter settings. Once inside, we'll right-click on Ethernet and go to its properties. Click onto the one with IPv4, then either double-click or click the properties. Use the following to manually change its IPv4 address to your server's IP address. The subnet mask should be automatically configured when you click on it. After that, go to the Change Advanced Sharing Settings, which is also under the Network and Sharing Center. Just expand the All Networks below to turn off the password protection sharing and just save the settings. Then, we'll go back to the system found in the control panel to change the system name. Once you've found the system, click on it, then click the Change Settings, then click on the Change option to configure the computer name because the one outside is just a description, not the actual name of the computer. We'll be using server on this video. Then, configure the workgroup name to your workgroup, which is CSSNC2 on this video. Click OK, and it should show a pop-up that will warn you that you must restart. Just close the open wizards, and it should give you the option to restart now. After restarting, we'll be signing in on the account again to make a folder that will be used to folder redirection later. It doesn't necessarily need to be done during this part, but it's better to be able to have it at ready in case you forgot. Just right-click on the desktop and go to New, then Folder. Rename it to Server, then right-click on it, then click onto the Properties option and navigate to the Sharing tab to configure the sharing permission of the folder. Under the sharing, make sure that everyone is added and has the read or write permissions before click the share. Then on the advanced sharing, check the share this folder on the top, then click on the permissions and allow full control for everyone, then click apply or just OK, and you're done. On the client side, we'll basically be doing the same thing. First, we configure the IPv4 found on the network and sharing setting in the control panel. Once inside, go to the Change Adapter settings, then right-click the Ethernet and navigate to its properties. Find the IPv4 and navigate to its properties and use the following to manually configure its IP address of the first client PC, 192.168.1.2 in this case. After that, we'll be navigating to the Change Advanced Sharing Settings, expand All Networks, then click Turn off the password protected sharing, and save changes. Then, we'll be configuring the system name and workgroup of the client PC. Navigate to the System Settings of the control panel, click Rename this PC Advanced, and click Change to change it. Rename the client PC to whichever name you should be naming it, but we'll be naming it Client here. Then change the workgroup to the same workgroup name as the server, which is CSSNC2 in this case. Like the server, there should be a warning that'll warn you about having to restart the PC to save the changes. Close Windows, then click Restart Now. After the restart, we'll be making a folder for the client. Right-click on the desktop, New, then click Folder. Rename it to Client. Then once you're done, right-click on the created folder. Go and click the Properties option, go to Sharing and click Share. Find Everyone, Add, then change Read to Read or Write, then click Share. After that, go to Advanced Sharing, check Share this folder, go to Permissions, allow full control and apply, then OK, then apply, then OK, and you're done. Now, we'll be going to the command prompt to ping each PC. For the client, we'll be pinging the server's IP address, 192.168.1.1 in this case, and it should be able to receive back the signals sent to the server. If it did get a reply with the bytes and time, then the two PCs are connected, but just in case, you're free to ping the client from the server PC too. For the server, you'll be pinging the client's IP address, 192.168.1.2 in this case, and it should have the same reply as the client's. If it got the same reply, then you're absolutely sure that the two PCs are connected properly. Since the two PCs are connected, we'll be setting up the roles for our server now. Go to Server Manager. It takes time for it to load, so just let it load. Once done, click on Manage, then the Add Roles and Features, or just click the one outside since it's the same one. Once it loads, simply click Next until you get to the Server Roles part and find Active Directory Domain Services and DNS Server. Add their features and click Next. Before continuing with the installation, make sure to click the Restart checkbox on the top so it'll automatically restart if needed. Something like this would pop out after the installation on the same window, but just in case you closed it, you can click on the flag and click the Promote line. Then, we click the Add New Forest to create a new domain controller and put in our domain name, css.com in this case. Click Next or just press Enter and put in the administrator password to not be confused as to which password the PC is asking for, then just click Next till you're on the prerequisites check. Once it reached the prerequisites check, just wait for it to finish checking, then click Install. After it gets installed, there should be a warning that informs you that you'll be signed out because it'll restart. Like that. Just click Close and wait for it to restart. Sometimes it'll take a while, but just let it be, and it will. After the installation, just log in on the user account, which is the administrator account, that now has the NetBIOS domain name of the server, CSS in this case. Once the Server Manager loads, click the tools on the upper right navigation and look for Active Directory Users and Computers. Expand on the forest, then right-click on the forest and click New, then Organizational Unit. Name the organizational unit as MyOrgUnit, then click OK. Once it's created, right-click on it, then New and User. Input the credentials, first name, middle initial, last name, and logon username of the user you want to create. Once you're done putting on the credentials, click Next and input the password. Click the Never Expires, and it'll show up a warning. Simply click OK, Next, then Finish, and now you have your user. After that, go to the control panel and search for the Network and Sharing Center. Once in the Network and Sharing Center, click the Change Adapter setting, then right-click on the Ethernet and click the Properties. Navigate to the IPv4 properties, then copy the IPv4 address on the DNS server. Disable and enable the Ethernet to let it identify the domain it's connected on. It should display the forest name on the network, css.com in this case, if it has successfully connected to the domain. Now we're going to install the DHCP. Go to Server Manager and wait for it to load. Once it loads, click Add Roles and Features, then click Next until you're in Server Roles. Once you're on Server Roles, look for DHCP Server and add its features, then click Next until the installation. Don't forget to check the Restart checkbox on top so it'll automatically restart if needed, then click Install. Once it's done installing, click the Complete, then once the wizard pops up, click Next, then click Commit and Close, and you're done with the installation. After that, go to Tools and navigate to DHCP. Wait for the window to load. Once loaded, expand the domain server.css.com and expand the IPv4 before right-clicking on it to show the options as clickable and click New Scope. Click Next, then name the new scope as My Scope or whichever you need to name it, then click Next or just click Enter on your keyboard. Input the starting client IP address 192.168.1.2 for this video and the ending client IP address 192.168.1.100 for this. Then just click Next until you reach the end. Once at the end, just click Finish and you're done configuring your server scope. Now, we connect the client to the domain network. Navigate to the control panel and look for the Network and Sharing Center. Once you find it, click on it, then click the Change Adapter settings and right-click on the Ethernet. Navigate to its Properties and click on IPv4, then Properties. Click the Obtain an IP address, then click OK, and it should show a notification that you're connected to the domain network on the right side. When it shows up, click Yes, and the domain network should now show the forest domain. Then, navigate to the System settings of the control panel. Go down and click Advanced System Settings, then navigate to the computer name. Click Change and click on Domain, then input the forest name of the domain, css.com, for this client. Once you've inputted it, click OK. Then, put in the administrator account name and password, then enter to connect officially with the domain. After that, click Enter or OK, then a pop-out of it welcoming you to a domain, and a restart warning will appear. Restart the PC and wait for it to finish restarting. Once done, click Other User and log in the user you created from before and wait for it to open, then move to the server. After that, right-click on the server folder you created before, click Properties, then go to Sharing tab, and copy its network path. Then, open the Server Manager from the Menu tab and wait for it to load. Once it loaded, click Tools and navigate to the Group Policy Management. Expand the forest, domain, and forest, then right-click on the organization unit you created, my org unit in this case, and click Create a GPO. Rename the GPO, CSS GPO in this case, then click OK. Then, expand the organizational unit and right-click on the GPO and click Edit. Once the editor opened, on the user configuration, expand the policies, then expand the window settings, then expand the folder redirection. Right-click on the desktop folder and click Properties. Click the drop-down and choose Basic Redirect, then paste the copied network path on the root path. Navigate to the Settings tab, uncheck the grant, and check Also Apply. Click Apply or just OK, then do the same thing to pictures and music. Unfortunately, the music folder doesn't allow the Also Apply one to be checked, but that's okay. So just click Apply or OK as it is. Go to the control panel and navigate to the system of the server PC. Once inside, find the remote settings on the right part and click it. Once there, click the Allow Remote on the remote desktop and click Apply, then OK. Move to the client PC and on the menu, search for Remote Desktop Connection. Once opened, don't put the computer name or else it won't work. Make sure to input the server address of the server, which is 192.168.1.1 in this case, and click Connect or Enter. Wait for it to connect, and once it did, click More Choices, then Different Account, and log on the administrator account by putting its username and password, then click OK. After clicking OK, wait for it to connect, then click Yes on the certificate question and wait for the remote window to load. Once it loaded, you can now control the server desktop. Open the Server Manager of the server desktop and wait for the app to load. Once loaded, click Add Roles and click Next until the server rolls. Check the print and document services and add its features, then click Next until installation. Remember to check the Restart checkbox on the top, then click Install. After installing, close the window and click Tools, then Print Management. Expand the print servers and servers local, then double-click the printers, and on the printer list on the middle of the window, right-click on a printer and click Deploy with Group Policy. This part takes a bit of a time to load and mostly not responds, but that's okay. Once it loads, click on Browse and you click on the organizational unit, then the GPO, then OK. After that, check the Per User checkbox and click Add, then Apply, and OK. Repeat the process to all printers, and then you're done on the server side. When it doesn't load or go not responding like this, simply close them and refresh, and open up the Print Management under Tools again, then try again. Once done with that, go to the Client Desktop's command prompt. Once it loads, type GP Update to update the group policy of the client and wait for it to update successfully. Once it has successfully updated, Manually restart to keep the changes made. After restarting, check the group policy connection by going to Printers and Scanner, then checking if the printers were connected to the client by looking at the list of printers available. Another way of checking is by creating folders on the desktop, one of the redirected folders, and see if it'll get copied to the server folder. You can check the server side through Remote Desktop as shown, or you can use the server PC instead. Both works. As you can see, there should be a user folder under server and the redirected folders under it with the folders made under the redirected ones. That'll be all for COC3, setting up computer servers. Thank you for watching.